Why does securing a shiny $500 monthly auto loan feel like an absolute financial victory, while quietly suffocating your wealth velocity for an entire decade? You shake the dealer's hand, entirely convinced you just outsmarted the market by neatly fitting a premium lifestyle asset into your strict monthly budget. But that comforting illusion of affordability is precisely the engineered psychological blind spot that modern lending algorithms desperately want you to focus on. By fixating entirely on the bite-sized monthly operational expense, you completely ignore the massive, invisible financial anchor wrapped tightly around your future capital. Auto lenders masterfully stretch your loan timeline to 72 or even 84 months, deliberately dragging out the debt life cycle to maximize their institutional profit. This elongated financing structure secretly drains the immense compounding power of your prime investing years, while masking the severe depreciation of the underlying asset. You are not just buying a mode of transportation, you are knowingly signing away the sheer velocity of your net worth to corporate creditors. This is the calculated mathematics of long-tail financing anchoring, the most normalized wealth-destroying mechanism deeply embedded within our modern capitalistic consumer society today. At the psychological core of this systemic drain lies a potent cognitive vulnerability known as the anchoring effect, continuously weaponized against your daily financial logic. Dealerships meticulously frame every single negotiation around the $500 monthly payment, aggressively shifting your attention away from the staggering total capitalized cost. They artificially compress the immediate financial pain, creating a mirage of affordability that perfectly aligns with your current paycheck-to-paycheck cash flow constraints. However, every time you allow the timeline to stretch to accommodate a lower monthly fee, you add heavy steel links to your financial chain. This prolonged chain anchors your net worth progression entirely, making it mathematically impossible to allocate meaningful capital toward aggressive wealth-building investment vehicles. While you faithfully send $500 to the bank every 30 days, the physical vehicle itself is simultaneously plummeting down a steep, ruthless depreciation cliff. Within the first 36 months, the true market value of your premium asset disintegrates by over 40%. Yet your principal debt balance barely moves. This toxic intersection of slow principal reduction and rapid asset depreciation immediately thrusts you into a perilous state of negative equity, or being upside down. You are now functionally immobilized, heavily incentivized to hold on to the depreciating liability far longer than you ever originally intended or financially planned for. To escape this algorithmic snare, the average consumer makes the fatal mistake of rolling their negative equity directly into their next 72-month premium vehicle loan. This creates an inescapable recursive loop, a permanent subscription model where you are constantly financing the depreciation ghosts of your previous lifestyle choices. By focusing purely on the $500 monthly payment, you effectively blindfold yourself to the devastating long-term annual percentage rate drag, eroding your compounding timeline. Corporate banks meticulously design these long-tail algorithms because they know human psychology prioritizes immediate consumption over abstract, distant opportunity costs of capital allocation. You surrender your most critical wealth-building decade to a rapidly rusting piece of metal, all because the math looked effortlessly manageable on a dealership paper. If you finally want to permanently uninstall these predatory consumer algorithms from your subconscious and take aggressive control of your asset accumulation speed, hit the subscribe button right now to upgrade your financial intelligence and join the Economecha movement for continuous behavioral money psychology breakthroughs. Because in just a single moment, we will reveal the brutal side-by-side mathematical reality of what that 72-month chain actually costs your future portfolio. Let's observe a rigorous 6-year financial simulation comparing two identical middle-class consumers, both strictly adhering to a $500 monthly vehicular budget constraint. Profile A represents the strategic structural optimizer, while Profile B represents the aesthetic consumer hopelessly addicted to the perpetual 72-month long-tail financing trap. In year one, both individuals drive off the lot feeling completely victorious, radiating the exact same level of artificial socioeconomic status and corporate success. However, Profile A strategically committed to a grueling 36-month traditional term, deliberately sacrificing immediate luxury upgrades for rapid, aggressive principal debt elimination tactics. By month 37, Profile A completely severs the financial anchor, instantly redirecting that freed-up $500 monthly cash flow directly into an aggressive index fund. Meanwhile, Profile B barely crosses the halfway mark of their 72-month contract, still mindlessly bleeding capital while the underlying physical asset rapidly deteriorates. Profile B's vehicle has now lost over 50% of its capitalized value, yet the institutional lender still holds maximum leverage over their remaining monthly income. As the vehicle begins requiring costly mechanical maintenance, Profile B feels the intense psychological urge to artificially refresh their rapidly depreciating lifestyle aesthetic. They surrender their upside-down asset to the dealership, unknowingly rolling thousands of dollars in toxic negative equity straight into a brand-new 72-month premium contract. The monthly payment miraculously remains around $500, convincing Profile B they are winning, while their actual net worth violently plummets deeper into the red. Fast forward to the exact 6-year mark, and the mathematical divergence between these two identical consumers becomes absolutely catastrophic for Profile B's financial future. Profile A now owns a functional asset completely outright, alongside a rapidly compounding investment portfolio fueled by 3 massive years of unchained capital velocity. Profile B owns absolutely nothing but a fresh mountain of suffocating debt, permanently chained to a depreciating liability demanding another 72 months of payments. The staggering reality is that Profile B effectively financed their own financial stagnation, enriching corporate shareholders while completely devastating their own prime wealth velocity. This devastating 6-year gap is entirely driven by the invisible annual percentage rate drag multiplying viciously against the relentless gravitational force of a depreciating vehicle. You must permanently recognize that a car payment is not a fixed utility bill. It is a direct, violent subtraction from your future compounding timeline. To aggressively counter this institutional trap, we must immediately deploy a scientific behavioral environment control skill known as the Total Cost Default Inversion. Before ever stepping foot into a dealership or opening an auto portal, you must completely eradicate the monthly payment metric from your cognitive processing entirely. You will immediately pre-calculate the out-the-door capitalized multiplier, strictly anchoring your entire negotiation around the absolute finality of the contract's total principal price. You must aggressively factor in the devastating 6-year compounding interest opportunity cost, viewing the vehicle's true price tag as the capital you are permanently sacrificing. If the total capitalized cost violates your aggressive wealth-building parameters, you simply reject the transaction, becoming entirely immune to their psychological monthly payment compression tactics. Tomorrow morning, you are going to execute a precise algorithmic rule to completely sever your current long-tail financing anchor before it drains you any further. Open your current auto loan dashboard, locate the exact maturity date, and multiply your remaining months by the current interest rate premium you are paying. Once you visually confront that staggering amount of wasted capital, instantly draft an aggressive, principal-only prepayment schedule to crush that toxic debt years early. Reclaim the sheer velocity of your capital today, because your ultimate financial freedom depends entirely on refusing to quietly finance a rapidly depreciating aesthetic illusion.